This is a New York Times article that popped up my feed on tipping points. So what are tipping points? Tipping points are when something is reached, then it triggers another event. So tipping points like say if all the ice melted, or loads of ice melted, then all the methane, whatever, it's trapped in ice, rises up. That is a greenhouse gas, so it makes the world hotter. So that makes more of the ice melt, and then more methane's getting, and that's all fucking like loop. I'm certainly not a big fan of the New York Times, but a thing just popped up on my email there a few weeks ago that for €2 a month I could subscribe to it. So I just thought it'd be useful for making these videos, so I bought it. But the only reason I'm interested in the New York Times is because basically what they say is happening, you can be pretty sure it's nearly the complete opposite that's in fact happening. This is the article here anyway. It doesn't offer any real facts. It's all like coulda, shoulda, woulda. This one is about the coral reefs. It's saying that coral reefs could disappear, basically. Could. When it might happen, it could already be underway. So they're really hedging their bets. And then the thawing of the permafrost. So that's basically saying, I think what I was saying earlier about the ice melting. Sudden shift in the West African monsoon. So around 15,000 years ago, the Sahara Desert started turning green. It began when small shifts in Earth's orbit caused North Africa, it goes on anyway. But so did humans. So animals flourished, elephants, giraffes, ancestral cattle. So did humans, as engravings and rocks painted from the area test. Only about 5,000 years ago did the region transform back into the harshest desert. So all this stuff is happening way before, quote, climate change, unquote. So, that's exactly the point. The climate's always going to be changing. The effect, as long as human beings keep the water clean and keep the air clean, then the rest of the climate will just take care of itself, I think. I had a friend of mine here over Christmas who was telling me about mushrooms. He expressed it to me in a way that I hadn't heard before, but it struck me as a really good analogy for how the climate works in general. There's just so many elements involved. You can focus on specifics of it, but to say that we got the whole climate sorted, they're full of shit, to be honest with you. The relationships with the mushrooms. The relationships with the mushrooms, he was saying what they do is the mushrooms break down the dead wood and the dead organic matter. So that plays a very vital part because that turns to carbon. And then the more dead wood there is, the more dead stuff there is, whatever, the more mushrooms are going to be. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that, he was going on about the mushrooms, but there is that kind of similar relationship. Like the more dead wood there is, the more mushrooms there are going to be. The more carbon dioxide there is, the more green there's going to be.